Hey everybody, how is it going? It is good to be back. Been gone for last couple of weeks. Just had a bunch of crap rain on down on from the universe, but I think all that's behind now. So hopefully we'll be back on a regular schedule of this again. So I plan on being here tomorrow, same time. Unless I hear different. That's my plan. But anyway, I'd like to welcome everybody out and hope everybody's doing good and all that jazz. Do I have any of my regulars here tonight? I know that Jersey wasn't going to be able to make it tonight, but any of my other regulars here? Or news, this your first time here? If so, where are you from? Let's have a little roll call. Oh, hi, Rick. Thank you. It's good to be back. Hi, John. Welcome. First timer, Butte, Montana. I almost moved there about 25 years ago, I guess. Came really close to moving there. I'm in Utah, by the way, for those of you who do not know. All right, so what I wanted to do tonight, I didn't really have anything kind of planned out or prepared, but one of the questions that I get asked a lot from you guys, like usually every time, there's at least one person that either says something about stuff that I'm playing when I'm just noodling around, or just ask me what kind of stuff I like to play, like when I practice, what kind of stuff I like to play. So I prepared a couple of things that I like to play, and we'll go over those. So there is tabs for the stuff I'm going to be going over. So there's a link in the description. Click on that, and you can download the tabs and follow along. So when I very first started playing, it was probably just like everybody else. Like you heard some kind of music, you heard a song, you just heard somebody play guitar or something, and it inspired you, and you wanted to learn how to play. So at first, we all get into it with this idea we want to do it because of some sort of love for music. And then as we get learning, we start putting a lot of emphasis on working on exercises and, practicing scales and all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of us, because I know I did this, tend to kind of drift away from what brought us to guitar in the first place, and that's just the music. So a while back, I made a conscious effort decision that I was going to start playing, not just practicing, but just playing for the pure enjoyment. So that might mean that there's the two things that I'm going to show you tonight are things that I've played a billion times. I play them every time I pick my guitar up. I play one or both of them, at least. What? How do you decide what guitar to buy? My parents asked me, if you want to get a guitar, I think turn a minor on, you can do that. Then you, I don't know, Matthew. I'm not really sure if I understand that. Hi, Paul. Cyberborg, Missouri. Hi, welcome. Yeah. So Matthew, I'm a little confused on your question there. Yeah. So anyway, this one lick in particular, the first one I'm going to show you, was very influential on me, even before I learned how to play it, because I always liked it and always listened to it. The album that came out when I was about about 12 probably. So it was like right when I very first started playing. So it's something I listened to, but it was just so far beyond my even level of comprehension. I didn't even understand what it was. Yeah. So what that one is, it's the intro riff, but they also use it during the chorus and stuff for Have a Drink on Me by AC/DC. So that's the first one we're going to look at. And then I'm going to show you how to play that. And then I'm going to show you the influence it had on me for some licks of my own, the things that I made up that you can tell that they're not from it, but they're similar. I was very influenced by it. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So as far as your parents, that I don't know, that's between you and them. It's a joke, I get it. But as far as like what kind of a guitar, a lot of that depends on what your goals are, like what it is that you're wanting to accomplish or do. If you are just, you're not really sure what kind of stuff you want to do, you're just wanting to get into playing, or, an acoustic guitar is a good way to go, but electric guitars are easier to play as a general rule. So if you're going to go the electric guitar route, then I would advise like a Stratocaster style guitar with a humbucker and two single coils, because then you have a pretty big wide spectrum of sounds from that you can get from other guitars and different kinds of instruments and stuff. Yeah, so should have brought a drink down with me. I got like cotton mouth, like really bad. Yeah, so for this riffer, Have a Drink on Me. So it's a real, like bluesy, a real, obviously, I mean, AC/DC, all their stuff is like really bluesy, but this is just very much some of the things that are in here you would find in licks by, like actual blues guitar players, like B.B. King and guys like that and stuff, or Clapton. You're going to hear these same kind of things. So we start off here. We're going to do a slide from nowhere up to the 9th fret of the G string, and you want to do it with your third finger. At least this is the way I personally feel this is the best way to play it. You're going to do the slide from nowhere up to the 9th fret, and then drop your second fret down onto the 8th fret of the B string. And then you want them two to ring out over each other. Second, I gotta pull up my music for this just so I don't end up saying something incorrect because I'm going off of my crappy memory. Oh, thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I'll make it. To be honest with everybody, this gives me a lot of anxiety to do this. I like doing it. I'm not doing it because like I'm being forced to. I like doing it, but it does give me like a certain amount of anxiety and stuff. So it's like the first 5 minutes is pretty brutal, and then it gets easier for me. Yeah. So when you start this, it's actually you're coming in. And I guess it's not a slide from nowhere. It's a slide from the 7th fret, but it's like a ghost slide. So it's still basically the same thing. You're just now you let those ring out. That's on 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's tied to a whole note on the second measure. Hi, Paul. So yeah, you let that ring, and then starting on the 3rd measure, we're going to do that again, but this time there is no weight. So we do the slide, and then this is one of the harder parts. You have to shift down That's why I like using this finger. So right now your third finger is on the ninth fret of the G string. So I'm going to shift down. So now my third finger is on the 7th fret, and simultaneously I'm going to put my first finger onto the 5th fret, because then it's a pull off. So you've got so it's kind of hard. You have to slide, and when you slide down, drop your first finger on, so that way you can do the pull off, because it's a tuplet. So you do that pull off there. Then we're going to go to the 7th fret of the D string with your third finger, and then you're going to roll that up so you can grab the 7th fret of the G string. So as soon as we go up to the 7, then we go down to the 5th fret with your first finger on the G string, then back to the 7th fret of the D string, and then the A string open. So that's like the whole phrase. So, and that's not all of it. That's just some of what I'm going to show you for right now. So with that, just in that little part right there, even if you can't, you're not at the, you don't have the skills yet to be able to play this like the, exactly the way that it's played or up to tempo or whatever, there is so much cool stuff in what I just did right there that you can just manipulate it a little bit and make it your own. Change the timing, change note duration. There's lots of stuff that you could do there. All right, so I was saying that that this was like it influenced me. So like a lick, a little lick of mine, this little blues lick, I really think that's where it came from, is from this. Now, I actually made that little lick up long before I learned how to play Have a Drink on Me. But like I said, I listened to it all the time. It was like I said, I was 12 and I had just a handful of records, and most of them were Kiss. But I did have For Those About to Rock and Back in Black. So this has a little bit kind of more of a country element into it, but it's still, I think it's very much, it's influenced from there. At least that's how I feel that it is. Oh, you're welcome, Oscar. Thank you. I appreciate all of you who are here. I mean, I know there's not like it's like a big crowd. It's a very small crowd. We could hold this conference in a broom closet, but I appreciate everybody who's here and stuff. This is why I keep coming back, because I hope to see this grow. Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right, so after it does that little phrase, and we hit this. This is on the end of 4 of the 3rd measure, and starting on the 4th measure, it's what goes into a different. It adds a little bit to it. So I really dig this part too. So we've got this it's an A chord, but what we're going to be doing is an A7. So what I'm doing is I've got my first finger barring the 5th fret of the D, G, and B string. Well, I guess it's getting the high E string too. I'm just not strumming all the way up. But we're going to strum that, and this is like a ghost note coming into the downbeat of 1, and we're going to do a hammer on the G string with our 3rd finger to the 6th fret, which is going to make it a dominant 7th. I just think that sounds so good. So we do that. That's on 1, and then and 2, and then on the end of 2, we're going to just move this shape up to the 7th fret. So how I do it is with my 3rd finger. So my 3rd finger is just barring the 7th fret of the D, G, and B string. So it's like, and then we end it on the and 4 with that open A string. Yes, it does tie it together really nice. That's what I think. I just think that whole intro part of this is really brilliant. This is one of the most underrated, like, cool guitar things, in my humble opinion, of all time. Ooh, a Kramer Striker 300 ST. Nice. Yeah, you got to restring it so it's, um, since it's got a Floyd on it, just one string at a time, unless you want a nightmare. All right, yeah. So after and we hit that, and then the open A string on the end of 4, then it goes back into that again. So that means that your fifth measure is the same thing as the third measure, and then the sixth measure is the same as the fourth. Sorry, can't walk. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and I know I can't do it, but I attempt to try to do it anyway. So yeah, it keeps going. There's like a lot more to it than what I showed you. I went through this. On this YouTube channel, there's a video, just not a live stream, but just like a regular video I did on how to play this a while back. So if you want to like learn the rest of it, I think I did more of it than what I just showed you, but I can't remember. If there's enough interest, if everybody, people say they want to like learn the whole song, we could do that. It would take an hour to get through all of it, but we could definitely do it. Yeah. So the whole thing. So that part right there at the end isn't actually on the tab. So all it is you just come down and do like a C5 chord. So third fret of the A string with your first finger, and then the fifth fret of the D string with your third or fourth, whatever's more comfortable. And then you just take your first finger off. So you're playing the string open. So that's like you got C5, and then this would be like C5 over A. Back us like on, off, on, off. And then it just goes back into that again. Yeah, so that's one of the, like I said, I really like that riff, and I play it pretty much anytime I pick up a guitar. Well, if I'm picking up to, and I don't have like an agenda, if I'm not like, because I'm having, because I'm working. If I'm working, a lot of times I pick up the guitar and I'm forcing myself to, I'm transcribing a song for a student. So it might be something that I dig, or it might be something I, don't dig. That's just the way it is. I learned Jake's Killer Giant. Oh, okay. Sorry, slow. Yeah, it's my Killer Giants lesson, the Jake Lee stuff. Oh, great. Thanks. I appreciate that. That was a while ago, I think. But yeah, this, like I was saying earlier, this conscious decision I made, like, okay, what I'm gonna make time to just play stuff that I like. And so when I do that, I don't sit there and focus on, I make sure I'm alternate picking, or make sure I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And I just play these different riffs and stuff, whether they be things like this or things that I write or whatever. And I just play them and do it just for the sake, just for the pleasure of just the fun of playing. And I really feel like it has made a difference in my overall playing and stuff. I don't think it's like something, playing all this stuff also made me better. I think it's a mental thing that it kind of brought me back to why I started playing in the first place, for the music part of it, and not because, now it's like a like a job, and you don't want it to feel that way. Am I just doing hard rock? Um, both of the things that I'm showing that I'm today are they're rock, they're both bluesy rock things, but I do all different uh, styles. Like I've got on this channel, this isn't my channel, I just do videos for this channel, and so do several other instructors, but through the videos that I've done all different kinds of stuff from like rock stuff to country, blues, all different kinds of things. All right. So does anybody have any questions about that, about the Have a Drink on Me riff that we were just looking at? I mean, is there anything any parts of it that you don't understand? Like I said, you can get those tabs so you can follow along. Hey, Sergio. Thanks, man. Huey Lewis. I've actually never learned how to play any of his stuff that I can think of, but I did like a lot of his music and stuff, like back in the 80s. Oh, thanks, Sergio. Yeah, I was gone for a couple of weeks. Had some stuff to take care of, but hopefully all that crap's behind me now. And well, hopefully it's all behind me. All right. Well, if nobody has any specific questions about that riff, then we can move on to the next one. Oh, hi, Paul. All right. So the next one is it's a riff from Kiss. Now, if any of you that have followed me for any length of time know that, like, I'm a Kiss fan. Like, what got me started with playing in the first place, it was Kiss was the first music I got into that wasn't classical music, because that was like all my parents really listened to for the most part. And so I listened to that all the time. And then when I was about 6 years old, Kiss came to town, and there was a TV commercial, and I saw them, and that got me into that because I thought they looked cool. And then that was what made me want to start playing guitar, was listening to them. So anyhow, this is a old one. This is from this is actually from the album they were touring for when I saw them on TV. So, like I said, this came out when I was about 6 years old, but this is from a song called Mr. Speed. And the reason that I chose this is because it actually it's kind of similar to Have a Drink on Me. In kind of stylistically, you'll see here in a minute, like the double stop interval that they use is the same. Anyway, this is just like a really cool riff, I think. And this is something that I play all the time too, because you can't play this and not feel happy while you're doing it. It just isn't possible. Angels, Australian band. Yeah, I've never heard of them. All right, so that Have a Drink on Me, it's starting with whatever key it's in. It was that shape, so this is going to do a similar thing. So we're doing that same interval shape here. So we start off, we're gonna bar the 9th fret of the D and the G string. We're going to slide into that. Hit that twice, and then slide into that that little dyad interval there, just like they did on the. Then we're just going to bring that down a whole step, and then change it to so we're on the 9th fret on the G and the B string. I just think that just sounds really cool. I mean, are there other things that sound similar to it? Yeah, but I just think it sounds really great. I think it's really awesome. Yngwie, yeah, actually, I was hugely influenced by Yngwie in high school and stuff. But yeah, I did part of the trilogy suite. I did a lesson on that, and then from that. From I'll See the Light Tonight. Wow, I need to brush up on that. But yeah, so I've done some Yngwie. All right, so that's the first part of that riff, and I'm gonna look at the music so that way I don't end up saying something wrong. And for anybody that's just joined, there are tabs available for what I'm going over in here. There's a link down in the description, so you can just click that link and you can download the tabs for this. So that's the first part of it there. And this starts, we rest 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So this starts on the and of 4, and then it's tied to the downbeat of 1 of the second measure. And then on the and of 1, we hit it again. So you've got, so and 1, or and 1, and then come up to the. It's weird if I don't play that in context. It's like I have a hard time getting the feel for it. Now, when we do that there, that ends on the downbeat of 4. So on the and of 4, it's basically going to start the riff over again. But now we're going to move down into a different different position. Oh, I agree, Sergio. Metallica was like, way huge influence on me long before Enter Sandman. But yeah, that's another riff that's like really cool. It's one of those ones that, I even made a video that I don't know if you guys seen it, a video I did on this channel where it was 10 riffs that'll get you kicked out of Guitar Center. And it had the Enter Sandman riff. Yeah, it gets played a lot, but it's a cool riff. It's fun to play. I don't know. I think it's kind of silly that sometimes what people will do, being elitists, especially in the metal community, of, oh, you can't, if you like this, then you can't like that. And I'm not going to lie and say that I've never been involved in that, because I have when I was young, like in junior high and stuff. But, there's so much good music out there in lots of different styles. The album Monster, to be honest, never heard it. I didn't really. So like, I love the Kiss from 1973 up until all the way through Creatures of the Night. That's my favorite era. And then after they took the makeup off and stuff, I liked a lot of that stuff. I saw them in concert like a million times during that era. And then they did the reunion, and it was supposed to be a farewell thing, and it wasn't. And then they they put out other albums, and I don't know, it just wasn't really Sonic Boom and stuff like that. It just wasn't really for me. And I kind of try to keep them in, 1978, that era right there. But Unholy, that album, that Revenge album, is really good. And I think the very last one, that Carnival of Souls, the very, very last thing they did with Bruce Kulick, that's really good too. It's weird. It doesn't sound like Kiss, but it's really good. But I still like, I'm a fan of the album, the music from The Elder, and nobody else is. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There are people that it's definitely not popular. Like, it's probably their, they've even said it's their worst selling album of all time. Oh, you were at the show in the Metallica show in Argentina? There's that's where you live, Sergio, is in Argentina. We have a guy that works at Guitar Control who lives in Argentina. Oh, hey, decent. Ireland. Cool. One of the places on my bucket list that I really want to visit. Okay, so oh, cool. Yeah, Silvio Gasquez, he's you might know him from there, that he was one of the runners up for like the Guitar Idol thing, like a couple of different times, from Buenos Aires. All right, yeah. So now all we're going to do is we're just going to take that exact same sequence and we're just going to move it down a whole step. So now we'll start on the 7th fret, and then we're going to go 11th fret on the G string and 10th fret on the B string. Then down a whole step, and then bar, now this time at the 7th fret. So, whoops. That was terrible. Let me try that again. Oh my God. All right. There we go. Oh yeah, if I can make it there, I'll come and give you a guitar lesson for sure. I don't know. It's just I watch a lot of the vlogger people on YouTube that just like travel around different parts of the world and like show, like how much money it costs to live there and what the street food is like and the housing and all that kind of stuff. And Ireland is just so beautiful. I just think it would be really awesome to go there. Some cold gin. That riff, that second part of that riff is like always tricky. All right, yeah. So getting back to Mr. Speed, I'm kind of like all over the place tonight. But that's the thing, the anxiety at first, it makes me all like terrified to get on, and then once I start going, especially if I got a good crowd and everybody's talking to me and keeping me going and stuff, then I get all hyped up. Yes, Gary Moore for sure from there. Another guitar player that I'm brain farting his name who's from there is really awesome too. But Gary Moore was the Shin Dizzle for sure, man. Okay, then we come down to the 2nd fret, and then we're just going to be barring the D and the G string. All right, so we're barring here the 2nd fret of the D and the G string, just through your 1st finger. Then we're going to take our 3rd finger and bar the 4th fret of the D and the G string, but you want to just keep your 1st finger here because we're going to come back. So then we're going to come back to 4 and we're going to bend. So you don't want to bend like a whole lot. It's just a little bit of a bend. Then we move it up to the 5th fret, do the same thing, or excuse me, the 4th fret. So it's 2 and 4, and then 4 and 6. And then the whole thing we just repeat. Whoops. So it just goes into this like really cool, I don't know, like I said, that's just a riff. You know, I dare you, download the tab, learn how to play it, and try to play it without just smiling and being happy. It's just so fun. It's just such a fun riff to play. So, like I was saying earlier about like the influence, this one here, I don't have like a lick in particular that I think that I've done that I think sounds like it, but something that kind of gives me the same kind of happy vibe. It's really hard to play it sitting the way that I am. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's just got that same thing. A lot of stuff. It's like a, you know, a bluesy style riff, but they put the major 3rd in there, like I showed on that riff I was doing here. It's in D minor pentatonic or wherever you want to play it, but I'm sliding into that major 3rd right at the beginning of it. Back into that major 3rd again. So it kind of does the same thing. It makes it have that kind of more like a happy kind of a feel to it. The same here. Major 3rd. I don't know. I just think that they're fun. But anyway, obviously there's more things I like to play than just the 2 things that I tabbed out. But I just kind of wanted to show those 2 particular things because they're probably my favorites. They were the first things that popped into my mind when I thought about doing this. That was like, you know, my whole reasoning for it. I think I'm trying to put too much thought into that. Yeah, so basically those are the two riffs. If you want the tabs for them, there's a link in the description. I didn't look at the description, so there very well could be another link in there for a couple of different promotional things that Guitar Control is giving away. They're really, really useful chord chart, and then an ebook, ebook about chords and stuff that you know, really useful too, and they're free. So there's, you know, probably links down there you can click to get those. But yeah, if you like if you like what I'm doing here and stuff, you know, leave in the comments, hit that, you know, hit the thumbs up button there. You know, all that stuff really helps for, you know, to show them that, you know, I'm doing stuff that you like and that you're into. Yeah, that the early Kiss stuff is awesome. It's I don't want to start like a big war debate about Kiss, because there's some people that like worship them like gods, and then there's other people that say, oh, it was just a big gimmick and that they couldn't really play and that's why they did that. And I fall into neither one of those things. I may have worshipped him at a skosh when I was a kid, but now it's just the thing that they're pretty underrated. And Paul Stanley is an excellent songwriter, and he's actually a really good guitar player. That that whole thing, this the that's Paul Stanley. That's not Ace Frehley. That's Paul Stanley's stuff, and uh, it's just really cool. So I just think that a lot of people might be missing out because they just immediately judge them and don't like really listen to, especially their older stuff, like the first, like up through Love Gun, especially the recordings. Like listen to them and like listen to the, well, actually not just through Love Gun, I guess all the way up through Destroyer and everything. I mean, like I said, I really like him. Creatures of the Night, I think, is a great album. But if you listen to that early stuff, first, few albums, listen to it with headphones and stuff. They did a lot of really neat things in the studio. Like there'd be like these heavy guitar riffs, and then behind it, kind of buried in the mix, would be like an acoustic 12-string guitar just strumming, and it just filled it out. It sounded really awesome. Yep, I agree, Sergio. I agree. Um, but yeah, so if you like what I'm doing, hit the thumbs up, leave the comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, yada yada yada, all the stuff that you hear every YouTuber say just continuously, about the algorithm and all that stuff. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that if there's people watching and interacting with what I'm doing here, then they're happy and I get to keep my job. So it's a win-win. I get to keep coming on here and, hope providing stuff that you like. And to me, it's just fun just to kind of get on and hang out and just, talk with you guys and stuff. It's good to hear what other people's opinions and stuff. So yeah, we are approaching the end here. Does anybody have any questions or anything? And not just necessarily about what we just talked about, just guitar questions in general. Like right here, Dave, are all those guitars yours? Yes. Uh, um, oh, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I feel a whole bunch better now than I did about 5 minutes before this started, when I was like, you know, praying for a tornado to go through my house or me to be struck by lightning or something, the power to go out is something. Uh, yeah, but yeah, these are all my guitars. I used to have like a whole bunch more when I was in the I have an endorsement with Spear Guitar, and when I was in the thick of it, and their distribution warehouse for the United States was here, and I worked there. I did quality control, and I ended up just with just a obscene amount of guitars, and so it was just like I've got more guitars than I'm ever going to be able to play. I mean, I feel that way right now, borderline, considering I don't play out anymore really. When I was gigging, I had like a lot of good, like this was my number two for live, um, but I just started getting rid of them. I gave a lot of them away, and then sold some of them, and yeah. So now I'm kind of down to not all. I mean, it looks like I've got all this stuff over there, but some of that stuff is things that are in the works that I may not live long enough to finish them and get them going again. All right. So does anybody else have any questions or anything? I asked this question a couple of weeks ago, but didn't really get much answers and stuff. And there wasn't really anybody here. But have you guys seen the? Uh, um, oh, wait a minute. Same feelings before until past the first two songs, live performances, and then it's all joy. Yeah, I actually, I used to have stage fright so bad that there are pictures of me and stuff like at gigs, and my back is to the audience the whole time. And it wasn't like I was consciously thinking that. It was just like some kind of a, it was my brain's way of trying to keep me from having an anxiety attack, I guess. So I'd have my back turned to the audience, and then I started oh, bad is bad. Yeah, I'll try to remember that. You have to check that out. Bad is bad. But yeah, so then when I got older, I started drinking before I'd go on Tornado or Lightning. Yeah, good. Or Tornado and Lightning. That could be the name of a band. I started drinking before I'd go on, like not like getting drunk, but I would have like a shot or something, before I went on, just to kind of calm my nerves. And then a few years ago, we had an indoor arena football team here. I don't know if we still do. I don't follow sports, but I was contacted to come and play a halftime show at the Energy Solutions Arena, our big basketball arena concert venue thing here. And anyhow, I get down there to do it, and no booze. I couldn't have a drink before I went, and it was the biggest crowd that I've ever played in front of, and I was by myself. So there was like 3,500, 4,000 people there, and it was just me and my guitar and a backing track, and no booze or anything. Anyhow, that cured me from stage fright. I never have had any problems since then. I mean, I get the little bit of butterfly thing, but I'm not like a bumbling fool like I was for a while. Yeah, the drink, it was, what do they say, that pour yourself a glass of courage? That was more or less what it was. In fact, this is a funny story. When I played a show with the band that I'm in, Sonic Prophecy, before I joined. I was just filling in for a guitar player. They were headlining a festival in Colorado, and so I just learned their material, and I went there and I played with them. And before we went on stage, I went up and I got a shot of Jägermeister and a beer. And I used to be a pain management patient. I was on a lot of pain medication. I'm not anymore. I got rid of all that crap. But anyway, so I went over, and it was our singer's wife, and she didn't really know me. She was sitting at the merch booth, and I had this handful of pills, and I throw them in my mouth, and I take a shot of Jägermeister, and then chased it with a beer, and then I looked at her, and her eyes are all bugged out, and I go, "Is that dysfunctional?" I don't know. It's kind of funny. I guess it's also like sad, and like maybe something that'll be in my true Hollywood life story or something. Oh, thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like I said, it's once myself, off the ledge, I'm all right. But yeah, so it was a great crowd tonight. I really appreciate it. Yeah, pills and liquor. Yeah, not anymore. That was my young days. Now the pills I'm taking are for high blood pressure and cholesterol and stuff like that. Vitamins. All of a sudden now, I got to take all these goddamn vitamins. Lived without them my whole life, and all of a sudden now, if I'm not taking 4 of these vitamin pills every day. I'm going to die or something. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that came out tonight. This turned out to be a lot of fun. Better than I was expecting. Like after, the last 2 weeks I've had have been kind of sucked. So this is really good. And I really appreciate y'all coming out here and stuff. Like I said, I plan on being here tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do. I'll figure that out. I always manage to figure it out at the last minute, what we'll do, but I'll get something together for you. It's called getting older, but the good news is I'm getting wiser. God, I hope so. Thank you. Oh, Jersey made it. Oh, no, you've been here before, or you were not here once before when it didn't go really great. Tonight was really good. We got plugged into some good people tonight. So anyhow, I know it sounds really weird to say, like, I hope to see you. Like I can see any of you. I can see your little, your little icons. So I hope to see your little tiny pictures that I can't tell what they are because I'm blind and they're too small to be able to see. Yeah, watch the rerun. It'll be on Hulu. Yeah, see in your face. Yeah, our type of. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I feel a lot better. It's been yeah, last couple of weeks have been pretty pretty rough. Pretty rough. The universe is kind of, it's one of those situations where the universe said, "Oh yeah, here, hold my beer," and really did it. All right. So again, thank you, everybody who. Oh, that's what that is, a spilled coffee. See, I can't tell. I mean, I'm the little on my monitor, the little circle pictures are they're small. I mean, they're like half the size of a dime. But anyway, I hope to see, hope to be able to recognize your little icons and then your names. A lot of your names I recognize from, from other times and stuff. So yeah, I hope to be able to see you guys here again tomorrow. It'll be the same time. Like I said, don't know what we're going to be doing, but I'll figure something out. If nothing else, we can just sit around and just talk about guitar and laugh and stuff for an hour. How's that sound? If I do solos, so do you mean like? So you mean like a guitar, like an actual solo or what? Because yeah, we actually did. We went through on one of these. We learned the solo for "Livin' Lovin' Made" by Zeppelin because that's like a really good one. Yeah, Oscar, I'm technically on Facebook. I never really go on there anymore. I used to go on there a lot and stuff, but now I just don't really go on too often, and I get tired of all the political crap, and all the negativity. Oh, okay, yeah. So I could just do the solo. Yeah, I've done some like that. I know, like, so there's that "Livin' Lovin' Made," and then I did a series just on solos for beginners. They were really easy. There was like a Green Day one, and I can't remember what else. But to be honest, in the whole time that I've been playing, there's only a handful of guitar solos that I've ever actually learned, and I can remember how to play. I was never really into that a whole lot. I would learn like certain licks or whatever, but when I was practicing doing stuff with like lead playing, I was always really focused on. I felt like it was more important to try to develop my own thing than to like learn something else. And I'm not saying that it's bad to learn other stuff because I'm doing it more now than I did then. That was just how I felt back then. And now it's just a lot of times sitting down and learning a solo and figuring it all out and then tabbing it out and everything. It takes a long time. So, a lot of times it just isn't something that I have like a lot of time for. Oh, Yes, Oscar. Yeah, you can find me on there, and you can just send me an instant message on there. I do get those. I still use the messenger part of it, and sometimes I like to go on and just look at the um, uh, when the memories pop up. It's just kind of funny to see stuff that I posted 10 years ago. But other than that, I don't really go on there a whole lot. But I do see the messages. So yeah, go ahead and shoot me a message. That's actually a pretty good idea, Paul, because that's what I'm doing. Is I come down a few minutes before I have to start, and tune my guitar and just kind of get loosened up if I haven't already been playing for whatever reason. Uh, Usually on Tuesdays, I'm shooting YouTube videos before this, so I've had a lot of warming up. But today, I didn't have any shooting. I just had lots of editing. So this is the first time I played all day. It was just 10 minutes before I went live. But yeah, that could definitely be something I could do. I could just play and do it that way, and maybe it would get some more people on here too, or whatever. But again, for the umpteenth hundredth time, and I mean it this time, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. If you like what I'm doing, hit the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. All that stuff really helps. And I should be back here tomorrow, same time, and try to have something ready for you. But again, thanks for coming, everybody. You really kind of made my night. Best I've felt in a couple of weeks. And thank you, Paul. And you're welcome. Does it say Dig Dunford? I'm also like blind, that's the other thing. My eyes completely went to shit since I got older. But anyway, again, thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow.